So how did we get here? How did we get back to me doing a YouTube video? That's a great question because I'm Rashad. I'm 40 years old. And over the last couple of years, I've been in the process of rebuilding my life. And I was putting out videos on this channel pretty consistently for a while. And then, probably since the beginning of the year, I just kind of went dark on it. Not because I didn't love it, not because I didn't like the community that I was building, but the thing that I felt like I was just doing way too much. I was trying to build a company. I was trying to build myself. I was trying to be super consistent on Instagram. And then I was also trying to carve out time to put together these stories about either my life or something that I learned or something that I wanted to teach. And I felt like in order to do all these things I felt like it was impossible for me to do all these things. So I had to take a back seat. And one of the first things that I had to make sure that I put in that back seat was doing these YouTube videos. But as I've kind of regained myself, got back in the gym, got my mental health together, got my business back together, um, started to focus a lot on my content and trying to figure out what that should be because that's a whole process in itself. Trying to get to the next level, I realized that YouTube is just a part of that. Even though I tried to exit out, it's in me. It's part of who I am. It's part of who I want to be. So it's hard for me to just let that go. And so I came back with a different approach. I came back with wanting to help people, wanting to not force myself into a niche. I don't want to be the person that just talks about camera or just talks about creating content because my life is a lot more colorful than that. I want to be the person that talks about all the colors of my life, which include running a business, being a husband, being a father, um, working on myself, actively working on myself, working on my business, trying to be great at that, working on getting to the next level of my business, becoming a content coach, um, and just being a all around better man. So that is what these videos are going to be about. And the way that I'm actually making it a lot easier for myself now is I have a way better desk setup than I did before, which I can always just turn the camera on and get it recording. But I'm using Riverside to do it, so I shouldn't have to waste so much time on editing. And I'm really just going to be answering questions. Um, Either questions that people send me, questions that people have for me, or questions that I get off ChatGPT or Claude. Um, so, so who is this for? Um, I plan on being very consistent with these videos since it is an easier lift, an easier setup for me. But who is this for? I could say this is for, videographers. I could say it's for creators. I could say it's for business owners. I could say it's for men. I could say it's for women. But in all actuality, this series, these videos are for the person who is stuck, the person who is looking to do something different with their lives, the person who wants more out of their life. Because that is where I'm at now. I've got a little bit of notoriety. I've got a little bit of recognition for the work that I've done, but I'm nowhere near where I want to be at. But the places and roads that I've already crossed or roads that I've traveled, I really just want to give out the game on how I've been able to do certain things like make a consistent $10,000 every month. That's not super crazy, but at one time in my journey, I was praying to God, like, how can I just make 5,000 a month, 6,000 a month, 7,000 a month? And I used to be happy when those months came sporadically. And so now that I'm actually able to hit $10,000 a month every month, if not more, I feel like I should be helping other people do the same thing. And even though the way that I do that is with videography, it's with coaching, it's with um, strategy. A lot of things that I know and a lot of things that I talk about are not have nothing at all to do with videography, to be quite honest with you. It's really in how you position yourself and who you are and really just your perception on things, your morals on things, because everybody out there does good work. If you're a videographer, if you're a lawyer, if you're a dentist, if you are a fitness instructor, everybody out there does good work. But it's really just how you position yourself. That's the only thing that has separated me is how I position myself. So this series, this video, these YouTube videos will be for the person who wants to get unstuck in life. Um, what can somebody expect from watching these videos? Like I said, it's really just to help you get unstuck. I might be doing a deep dive about something that is specifically in videography. I might do a deep dive on something that I'm learning, you know, in fatherhood. I might do a deep dive that is something that has to do with me being a husband. I've actually learned a lot about that in the last couple of weeks and months. Um, or it might just be a deep dive in my fitness journey. I had some heart issues a couple of months ago, so I'm actually working through those. And so it's a lot of things that I'm just like discovering about myself. I went back to therapy last week, which I actually have to get a new therapist because I ain't really like her too much. But yeah, it's just a lot of things that I'm uncovering that I want to help people with. And I feel like the only way to really help people is if we talk about it, we have a conversation about it. What changed in you over the last 2 or 3 years that led you to want to do this? Uh, Long story short, if you look back at some of the old videos on this YouTube channel, one of the things that a theme that has been happening has been uh 2 years ago, over 2 years ago, I was completely burnt out. I thought I was having some health issues, but I was really just completely burnt out. I took a break, got a job as a creative director at a church, and then that gave me like a year or two to really just kind of focus on who I am and who I want to be. But doing that, I went to therapy. I realized that I'm a people pleaser, and that just started a cycle of things needed to change. I've changed how, I changed my body as far as it's working out. I've changed how I dress. I'm working on just how I present myself. And I really just changed how I think about a lot of things. My temperament, my attitude, the way I just look at life has all been changed. So going through that change has allowed me to just think about I just don't want to show up as a version of myself. I don't want to show up as me trying to be a creator. I just want to show up as myself and hopefully that it speaks to somebody else. Um, Let me see. Well, let me see. I really just gave myself some questions in Claude. Gave myself some prompts in Claude, and it gave me a couple of questions. Uh, if this show works exactly the way you want in a year, what does that look like? To me, that looks like really just being able to reach people who, being able to speak for people, be able to get some insight for people who feel like they don't have anybody else to talk to. That would probably be the thing that gives me the most joy is having people come up to me and like, hey, the work that you're doing, the videos that you're putting out is really speaking to me. So if I had one goal, that would be the goal. Um, what do you want people to walk away being able to do differently after watching? I really just want people to live life on their own terms. And I'm in the process of doing that myself. I've gotten a lot further than I probably should have. And now I am able to live life on my own terms for the most part. I'm still climbing that ladder, but I've came a long way. And so I realized just by talking to different people, talking to people in my circle, talking to people I meet online, talking to people I just meet out in the street, that a lot of people live a very structured life where they are afraid to dream. They are afraid to go after the things that they want. And so I actually just want to create content that shows people that they can go after their dream life if they want to. So yeah, and I also don't want to make these videos super long because I don't want people just to be sitting in front of a computer or sitting in front of their phone all day. Like if my video is the one video that you watch, I want you to watch it, take something from it, and then you're like, know what? Let me put this phone down, shut this laptop, and go out and do something about my life. So I'm aiming to have these videos around 15 minutes. And so quick little rapid fire that I'm gonna just run through real quick. Hopefully hopefully before I go into that, hopefully you guys stick with these videos. Hopefully I stick with these videos. Um, but I feel like it's something that I'm gonna enjoy doing, and hopefully you enjoy watching. Um, what's one thing you do in your business that most people wouldn't approve of, but you still do anyway? Probably the biggest thing is I turn down work. I have a type of work that I do, and I have a specific way of how I actually run business. And so if somebody reaches out to me and says, "Hey, I know you have a camera. If can you film my baby shower for me?" I will say no. And if somebody say, "Hey, I just want one commercial," then I'll just say, "I'm not the person for you." My whole intention with everything that I do in my business is to help people grow a brand, not just put out one video, not a production company. I don't really care too much about the video. I want people to use the tools that we have in front of us right now to actually grow brands and not just put out a single video. If you put out a video for me and it doesn't make people engage with you, tell your story, or just connect with you, then I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. What's the biggest mental block that keeps videographers stuck, and what should they believe instead? The biggest block is that you're selling video. Most videographers that I know feel like they are selling video, and that's the furthest from the truth. You're not selling video, you're selling visibility. And with visibility comes a lot of different things. If you are talking to rappers, people don't want just a music video. They want visibility so they can get seen. So instead of creating one video, how can you create a package where a rapper pays you and now you can create content for them that's actually going to help them get seen. Does that make sense? Or if I'm working with a if a videographer is working with a personal trainer, and personal trainer might say, "Hey, I just want one video." In the sea of content that is out there now, one video is not going to help you. So that's why I always say that I offer packages of multiple videos, because that is actually going to help you get seen, instead of just feeling like one video is going to be the greatest video ever that is going to bring in all those clientele for you, that those clients for you. I, it doesn't work like that. And so the one thing that I wish videographers learned or knew is that you're not selling videos, you're selling visibility. Last one is, what's one thing you invested in early that made the biggest difference, and what should people not waste money on? The thing that I probably invested in early that made the biggest difference for me was investing in my personal brand. Even when I was pretty trash, I would still film the behind the scenes of my shoots. I would still put out pictures of me working with models. I would still do videos of me working with businesses. And by doing that, that allowed me to get fast. That allowed me to get better quicker, but it also created more visibility for myself, where people were like, "Oh, I've seen the work that you did with such and such. I want to work with you." Or "I've seen your breakdown of how you actually got this client. I want to work with you." Or "I just seen your personality in the videos. Hey, I'm the same way. I want to work with you." And so that's probably the biggest thing that I actually did that made the most difference when it came to building out my business. And what's the thing that people should not waste money on? Buying the latest gear. People waste way too much money on trying to buy the newest camera that comes out. Don't get me wrong, I'm actually about to buy a new camera because I've had mine for about 5 and 7 years. It's about time for me to get a new one. The new Canon R6V to be exact. Um, but people are trying to spend all their money on getting the latest gear. Be intentional about the gear that you have. Know how you actually run your shoots. Know what you actually need for your business, and buy the things that help you move the quickest. My setup is very simple. I have two cameras, which are pretty much the same cameras. I have a handful of lenses, probably about I have probably about 5 or 6 lenses, probably 3 or 4 that I use very consistently. And those lenses, and or also have maybe I have 3 lights, but one light that I use on every shoot now. I have mics that are very small that allow me to get excellent audio. And I have a gimbal and a drone. That's it. I'm not buying a whole bunch of equipment to do a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't want to do. So, and the equipment that I have allows me to move extra fast. So be intentional with the gear that you have, so you can know. Matter of fact, take that back. Be intentional in knowing what you want to do, and then be intentional with the gear that you buy to actually help support that. Simple as that. Simple as that. So this is the first video. Like I said, I don't know if this will have a show title. I don't know if it's I don't know what this is, to be honest with you, but I want this to help people. I want this to help myself. And I just want to start to build the community that I had prayed for, that I wanted when I was coming up 10 years ago. So if you got this far, I want you to leave a comment that I know that only the people that watch this all the way through will get. I'm find a random question. Let me think. Let me think. Favorite cartoon as a kid. Mine was probably either X Men or Spider Man, or Batman. Batman animated series was also good. So, what was your favorite cartoon growing up? Leave that in the comments. I'll respond. I love having dialogue, so we'll do that. But yeah, that's it for this video. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully, you guys appreciate it, because I appreciate you. Um, love you guys, and I will see you on the next video.